How are lame PR responses still even a thing? This week in Clueless Corporate News, United, after forcibly removing a 69-year-old doctor from an airplane after he refused to give up a seat that was overbooked by the airline, responded to the outrage, erupting on Twitter by saying,
"This is an upsetting event to all of us here at United. I apologize for having to re-accommodate these customers."
Interesting choice of words, re-accommodate, like there was an initial accommodation, or re-accommodate all of a sudden adopted an entirely different definition.
Calm down, now get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
This level of everyone will be fooled by this spin would be mind-blowing if nary a week earlier, Pepsi didn't respond to their incredibly tone-deaf ad. You know, the one where Pepsi and Kendall Jenner solve all of the world's problems 3 times before they actually managed to apologize, but then happened to blow it again by making their most heartfelt apology to Kendall Jenner.
I think that's so awesome.
It's as if these companies are so out of touch with the market that... Oh, yeah. My name is Tara, and this is Truly Social. In 2009, I went to work for one of these big companies, Intuit. I hadn't been there for 2 days when a PR blunder took place. Someone in the legal department had sent a scrappy little startup that happened to be eating their lunch, Mint.com, a sort of cease and desist letter. Now, Mint had been getting all sorts of coverage for having these huge numbers of users join, and someone at Intuit got annoyed and thought it would be smart to call them on it. So they sent a letter telling them to prove their numbers, or else stop telling the press that they're doing so well by a certain date. This falls under the category of, what in the living hell were you thinking? So, naturally, when my friend James Governor tweeted at me to ask what they were thinking, I replied, I have no idea. Seems pretty honest, forthright, no? So not 30 seconds after I hit send on that tweet, from my own account, by the way, my phone rings with the demand to take that tweet down and not to say anything else until the PR team responds officially. I was also told I was lucky I still had my job.
You're fired!
Chief, the planetarium party.
Oh, right, you're fired. I need you. Come here.
Now, this was at 9 a.m. At around 3 o'clock p.m., 6 hours later, Intuit's brilliant PR team responded with something safe and gobbledygook and spinning, and the lame closing statement.
So now you know, customers are choosing Quicken Online more than ever before.
Oh yeah. But that was 2009, and yeah, they kind of had an excuse to be lame. Social was still relatively young, and being called out for the lame response publicly was pretty new. But fast forward 8 whole years, and the lame responses are getting lamier. So why is this? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here it goes. Number 1, big companies look down on people from their ivory towers.
You sit on a throne of lies.
They're completely removed. In general, they only listen to tweets and posts that directly address them or their competitors. Those that follow hashtags only really do so in order to capitalize on them. There are all sorts of amazing opportunities to understand people and culture and changing perspectives and your audience and where the world is going. But the only data that big companies seem to care about is the sentiment score of the last quarter's tweets.
And if you need a friend, get a dog.
Number 2, many PR departments don't respect social and don't think it's worth their while.
I have been treated this day with no respect.
Now, this is how they approach social media professionals that they work with.
Can you tweet this article?
What's happening on social doesn't matter to them. It's more about using it as a push tool. Concurrently, they still hang on every word of their favorite magazine editor, but can care less who is really influencing the audience. And number 3, they don't really care.
I don't care.
Little companies, they care. An internet backlash for a small cap company hits them hard immediately. They feel it palpably. But for a big cap company, it takes time. Not today, not next week, but sometime in the nearest future, their sales figures will reflect people's feelings about them. And then they'll go out and hire all sorts of really fancy, expensive consultants to find out why. But they still won't figure it out because the backlash was like throwing pebbles at a mountain. Now, I don't want to paint the entire PR industry as clueless. I've worked with oodles of PR people who really get social and use it better than most. It just seems that these big companies retain those PR people who are of the old school and refuse to change.
I won't change my mind on anything, regardless of the facts that are set out before me.
And I also don't want to make it seem like our voices on the internet don't matter. They do. The companies giving lame responses today will be a memory tomorrow. And while lameness for big companies isn't going anywhere anytime soon, their demise makes way for new companies with new ways of thinking. And at the end of the day, let's be thankful for the lame responses, because where else would we get our fodder for righteous internet outrage and ranty YouTube videos? Speaking of ranty YouTube videos, I do these every week. So please subscribe and don't forget to click the bell so you can get updates. My name is Tara and this has been Truly Social.